This is KGW News at noon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nina Melhoff. Here are some local headlines we're tracking for you this noon. Police still looking for a suspect in an overnight shooting in Gresham. This happened around 10 o'clock last night on Northeast 190th Avenue, just off Gleason. Officers found a person who'd been shot. That person is in the hospital. We don't know their condition. Now to an update on a story we brought you yesterday. The man suspected of setting fire to a Portland mosque and vandalizing two synagogues made his first court appearance. 34-year-old Michael Bivens faces bias crime charges. He pleaded not guilty to arson, criminal mischief, and intimidation. The judge set bail at $45,000. He'll be due back in court next week. And it's time to start making summer plans. Permits just to drive on the historic Columbia River Highway in the Gorge went on sale 2 hours ago. They're good from May 24th to September 5th, from 9 to 6 every day along the waterfall corridor. Those permits are meant to reduce crowds in the area. You can buy them online. Buses and people on bikes don't need to buy a permit. Well, the sunshine has come out today, and we may see it again tomorrow. Only a small chance of rain, but gosh, especially the coast, Rod, has just been beautiful.
Question for you, Nina. If I would have offered you a permit to guarantee a nice day today, would you have anteed up?
Bought it, yes.
I think a lot of people would have at this point, right? All right, here's Cannon Beach Live. We got a few folks out there enjoying. It looks like the tide is somewhat out. You can walk up to Haystack Rock right there. It's been a nice day. That's the North Coast. The Central Coast, just as sweet. There's Depot Bay, always one of my favorite spots, 101, and looking out over the Pacific from the Channel House there along the highway. And here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club. Partly cloudy skies here in the valley. You got some golfers, it looks like, coming up the fairway there. 56 degrees. You know, mid-50s is where we've been for a high temperature more often than not lately, so it's not bad outside. It's also 56 up at PDX. Here's a look at the rest of your day, reminding you there is a spotty shower chance, and in fact, we've had a few showers up around Cowlitz County and up in the North Oregon Coast Range, so we're watching that, but most of us will just see dry weather the rest of today. 61 the high, 57 at 8 p.m. We'll track two big soaking rain events yet to come this week. That's straight ahead.
Just excellent. All right, Rod. A couple of big national headlines breaking this afternoon. Elon Musk announcing he will let former President Donald Trump back on Twitter. Of course, Musk is in the process of buying the social media platform and says banning Trump wasn't the right move in the first place. Trump has been banned from Twitter since January 2021. Twitter cited the risk of the incitement of further violence after the Capitol riot for the ban. Trump has said a couple weeks ago he doesn't plan to rejoin the platform if his ban is lifted, but stay tuned. Also making big headlines, Tom Brady set to join Fox Sports as a TV analyst after his playing time is done. The network announcing a $375 million 10-year contract today, saying Brady will become a lead analyst calling games with Kevin Burkhardt. That is the most lucrative deal in sports broadcasting history. Tom tweeted he's excited about the deal, but says he still has unfinished business on the field. Fox saying it's entirely up to Brady when he retires. Fox's former analysts Joe Buck and Troy Aikman just left to go to ESPN. All right, let's get back to your local news because police are investigating what seems to be a targeted attack against a pro-life group in Kaiser. Investigators say they found evidence of homemade explosives at the group's office. It all comes a week after the leaked Supreme Court draft decision that could leave abortion up to each state. Catherine Cook reports.
Burn marks char the entryway at Oregon Right to Life in Kaiser. Police say around 10:30 Sunday night, someone tried to break a window at the anti-abortion organization, then lit 2 Molotov cocktails and threw them at the building. Someone saw the flames from River Road and called 911.
Yeah, it's pretty close to home. That's scary.
Kimberly Smith lives right behind Oregon Right to Life.
It's not a good feeling, especially knowing we have grandkids that play in the backyard.
Fortunately, police say no one was inside the building and there wasn't a lot of damage. The fire comes just days after someone leaked a U.S. Supreme Court draft opinion suggesting the court may soon overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that legalized abortion.
use their kind words to influence public opinion as opposed to putting lives in danger.
Kaiser Police Lieutenant Trevor Wenning says regardless of the subject, calls like this are upsetting. He says detectives and an arson investigator are working the case. They're asking anyone with photos or video of the fire or suspicious activity in the area to share them with police. In a statement, Oregon Right to Life Executive Director Lois Anderson said, quote, "Understandably, our team is shaken up by this attack. We are committed to taking proper precautions to protect the safety of our staff as we move forward. We are thankful for the quick action of our first responders committed to maintaining a safe environment to operate in this community." In Wisconsin, police responded to a similar arson on Sunday that did a lot more damage. This one at Wisconsin Family Action, an anti-abortion group in Madison. Besides the fire, someone vandalized the building with a message, quote, "If abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either." Back in Kaiser.
It's concerning.
Police and neighbors are anxious for their own answers.
Of course, you hope that they catch whoever did it and they're, prosecuted to the fullest extent.
In Kaiser, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Tonight is the first public hearing and comment period for changes to Portland city government. Here's a look at three major changes that will ultimately go before Portland voters. First, allowing them to rank candidates in order of their preference, otherwise known as ranked choice voting. Also, 4 new geographic districts would be added, with 3 council members elected to represent each district. So that would expand the city council to 12 people. Also, the plan would shift day-to-day duties to the mayor and hire a professional city manager, while the council would focus on setting policy. Now, at least 15 members of this charter commission have to agree on the final proposal for it to go on the November ballot. You can weigh in at that hearing tonight from 6 to 9, either online or in person at the Portland building. We are just over a week away from Oregon's primary election, and with violence top of mind for many voters, investigators on the front line say there has been a huge increase in drug-related crime. Their view is much of that is tied to a ballot measure voters approved in 2020. Pat Doris took a closer look last night on the story.
Measure 110 essentially decriminalizes small amounts of hard drugs. Instead of criminal penalties, the law calls for treatment centers to be set up all over the state. I got to talk with Sergeant Matt Ferguson, the leader of Multnomah County Sheriff's Office Special Investigation Unit, about how the measure has changed their work. Ferguson is willing to show us drugs and guns seized recently in 2 separate cases. Those little blue pills are fentanyl.
And it's everywhere. It's everybody we contact. I have a couple of cases that are back-to-back cases we did this week, and in each case it's fentanyl possession and stolen handguns, and this is almost everything we do right now.
How much does Measure 110 have to do with it?
Measure 110 has everything to do with it.
Ferguson said because Measure 110 reduced possession for small amounts of drugs, including oxycodone, the drug business has flourished.
The fentanyl pills are counterfeit OxyContin pills. And by decriminalizing that, it's basically legitimized criminal organizations, and the drug possession, use, and sale is just rampant with very little consequences, and it's taken away our tools as police officers to sort of interdict that.
Reported drug offenses in Portland dropped from 880 the year before Measure 110 went into effect to 364 the year after. Police still do have some tools, and Ferguson was involved in a bust last June in which investigators found 500 fentanyl pills along with 44 firearms, 2 of which were machine guns, and 1,000 grams of methamphetamine. Oregon has long been a favorite distribution hub for drug cartels in Mexico who seem to like the I-5 corridor. It's possible that the passage of Measure 110 came at the same time that cartels were increasing their distribution of fentanyl, making it easier for users and dealers in Oregon.
Fentanyl is a lot easier to produce. It's a lot easier to ship because heroin has a very distinct smell. It's expensive. It's hard to make. You have to get it here. Dogs will alert to it if you have a drug odor-seeking dog. It's just hard to get. Fentanyl is super easy. It's pill form. You can get thousands of them relatively easily. They sell for as little as $3 a pill. and heroin is as much as $100 a gram. So if I'm a user, which Portland has this massive user base, fentanyl is just the way to go. It's just a better business model for the cartel.
I also got a chance to ride along with the sheriff's office as they staked out a local hotel that's been a problem spot for drug deals. You can see my full report now on the KGW YouTube channel.
And for an in-depth look at the big stories of the day, you can check out The Story each weeknight at 6 o'clock here on Channel 8.